It's another very, very beautiful day. And guess what? We are starting something I've always wanted to do, something my brother who's sitting next to me has always wanted to do also. Soccer, that very beautiful game we grew up watching, we grew up playing, while the play would watch. Now we are older, and what else can we do than just sit like two old men and just discuss this until we exit Earth? Like I said earlier, this is something I've always wanted to do. So many people who know me don't always encourage me. Sako, you need to do something about soccer. You need to talk about soccer. One, 1 second, bro. You know what? I think I should just go ahead
Yeah,
and maybe you tell us a little bit about you while I go ahead to get the charger for this thing.
yeah. So first time was a charm, so I decided to come back. So again, I'm just a soccer fan. I've played the game in a very basic amateur level, and I'm like all in soccer, right? I like watching the game. I like studying the game. I like giving my opinion on the game. You know, from time to time I play. I don't get to play as often. And besides, I play the super veteran soccer where
Wow.
that kind of give me ball for food. No person
Yeah,
was it.
yeah.
Yeah, but I like the game. I like talking about the game, and um, I I knocked heads with you about the concept.
Hmm.
It is something that could be unique in the. I mean, last time I talked about it. I want to expound a little bit
Hmm.
more. Um, Nobody's talking about African soccer.
Hmm.
Nobody is selling African soccer. Nobody is trying to market African soccer.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure that most people don't know that a week after the Champions League,
Hmm.
we had the African Champions League, the written leg.
Wow.
You would go on some website and just see a footnote like, okay, Al Ali of Egypt
Hmm.
with that.
But now, what do you think could be the problem? Is it because we don't have media that is equipped enough to handle this, or the organizers, which is supposed to be CAF, they are not investing, they are not actually putting in money to make sure the world. Because for me, that was one reason why I started to read it. One of the
Yeah,
reasons why I decided to embark on this mission or work on this project was because I felt like our stories need to be told by us.
yeah,
Now we get to tell our stories. Now we get to share this information. And one thing I noticed was we'll not get that media where if we compete. I don't know if Nabucco not get the resources, but I don't think so. We'll get they achieve billions upon billions.
yeah.
Uh so I don't know for you, what you think say if it be the reason why we soccer back home, Mama Africa is not, it's not mediatized as it's supposed to be.
So interest in something, right?
Mm-hmm.
It be generated like you get an organic interest where it be generated based on the facts that you seek to know,
Mm-hmm.
right? No man no go force you for go watch CAF African thing. You go
Mm-hmm.
first of all seek to know about stuff in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Some element of some football side dey for Africa where they work.
Mm-hmm.
You get people that make hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
You get people that make a living based on football. I mean, not generally though. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you know. So the people that they do for you, you get the presentation, the way other countries that they present their football.
Mm-hmm.
It be more flashy and be more convenient.
Mm-hmm.
You know, other countries like Europe, you get people that show the football. It kind of be like broadcasters and they be unique. Like I could easily get somebody to broadcast me English soccer. I could
Mm-hmm.
easily get somebody broadcast. So the African concept never ever be that nature where if you just decide say, I want to watch a game in Kenya today or I want to watch a game in Egypt tomorrow, you
Mm-hmm.
watch. I mean, you know be as convenient
Mm-hmm.
as European soccer. Now the difference we're gonna say, means say because it be harder, need to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when Kennedy make that speech, say we choose to do these things not because they are simple, but because they are hard.
Mhm.
So it'd be a little bit more difficult for get access to African soccer like that. But
Wow.
again, you touch on the point where you talk about telling your own story, right?
Mhm.
Your own story be more difficult to put together, more difficult to broadcast, more difficult to share, but make them less worthwhile.
Mhm.
You understand?
Mhm.
So Africans they ever take a look at themselves, right? You need to force anybody not just a hobby.
Yes.
Or we say they go do them.
Mhm.
Or we say we'll get a WhatsApp group where they talk about a Yimba of Nigeria, you talk
Mhm.
about Jean d'Arc of Senegal, you talk about Coton.
Mhm.
Because we'll get those about I was on Manchester United fan group, like
Mhm.
every single thing about Manchester United.
Mhm.
Not because people that make the effort.
Wow.
The white man, I mean, in quotes,
Mhm.
I mean, the white institutions
Mhm.
and the Western world,
Mhm.
the first way they make kind of make communications and for make their associations and the activities easily available to the rest of the world.
Very true.
I think that way Africans they need to learn how to do.
Mhm.
Right. Yesterday I became one look up Cameroon Cup. It take 24 hours for Cam food to put on up like the results. I mean, I don't get the results before
Yeah.
because I get people where they talk to me
Yeah.
like this is it. But if you dey watch English soccer, you dey watch a third division like a League Two game.
Mhm.
If you get that score live.
Yeah.
So football in Europe and America now billions of dollars industry. So forget that billions of dollars industry rolling. You need to commercialize them. You need to make it easily available.
Mhm.
You need to make them like where people that easily access them.
Mhm.
Africans they give understand say everything could be $1 billion industry.
Yeah.
It just depends on how you tell the story. Now we start this new project where a lot of Africans don't start getting involved in their own stories.
Mhm.
I remember when I became watch the Champions League for Africa for the man's free group.
Mhm.
I don't say we need to keep watch. Like
Mhm.
it'd be like difficult game,
Yeah.
crazy game,
Mhm.
stuff like that. But I always say other people in the studio go to watch them too.
Yeah.
Make it make it a little bit difficult to get it because it will be on a day after Champions League.
Mhm.
Champions League they get like a week of media activities.
Mhm.
African soccer, basically get that week. So it be a little bit more difficult. The African authorities they never really reach for that level where football at that $1 billion industry like in Europe and America.
Mhm.
And I don't believe that they put as much effort for mediatizing.
Mhm.
But it doesn't make it makes it a little bit harder to get it.
Mhm.
But it doesn't make it less worthwhile.
I want to ask you the question. Now, so many people, I know we talked about this the other time, but
Yeah.
for me, I feel like this is the beginning of what we want to do.
Yeah.
So I just want me you throw a little bit of light on why we don't decide to do this, like why we decide to want invest our time talking about soccer, talking about football, talking about this beautiful game.
So again, it boils down to telling our own stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, again, I just talked a couple of minutes ago that I've been a member of some Manchester United fan thing. I don't be a Manchester United fan for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't actually go back to the 50s and 60s and
Just,
read up about Manchester United,
yeah,
right? So I start discover say in all and all, we literally talking about other people their stuff,
yeah.
right? We literally promoting other people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I mean again, everybody be free to do what they plan to do, right?
Yep.
Like free will. But at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day, nobody's promoting us.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about our own football. Nobody's talking about the opportunities that mediatizing our football would
Bring.
give to the youths, right?
Yeah.
And we get a lot of people that in places and spaces where they feel give a lot of visibility to that football.
Mm-hmm.
They feel mediatize them.
Mm-hmm.
They feel give a lot of exposure to people that they try to make them for football.
Mm-hmm.
And the beautiful thing about telling your own stories, let's say, every single person should buy that story. It
Mm-hmm.
just depends on how you tell them.
Tell them.
I keep talking to some guy yesterday about the book they call Things Fall Apart.
Mm-hmm.
May I digress a little bit, okay?
Mm-hmm.
things fall apart.
People they already ask questions, so you get.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
things fall apart.
Mm-hmm.
There's some book where they write them between history in between 1900 and
Mm-hmm.
1919
Mm-hmm.
for Nigeria
Mm-hmm.
with lots of Igbo words.
Mm-hmm.
So you just tell your own story, right?
Yes.
But guess what? A lot of people they buy this story. So now one of the most translated books in the world. So we get that rare opportunity because we live those experiences, right?
Yeah.
We live those experiences. We know the players. We know the culture.
Mm-hmm.
We get that experience. We get an opportunity to give our own unique input with no other person will get that.
Very true.
I watch Gabon, Congo Democratic,
Mm-hmm.
Congo win 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
Journalism being a French journalism. You get one or two people that they get some insight for African football, but they probably live in France. They
Mm-hmm.
don't get the culture. They never walk out through the streets. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they don't get that organic experience for like the experience where you figure them
Mm-hmm.
when you dey watch um Coton, they
Mm-hmm.
play Canon.
Mm-hmm.
You walk out the streets, you get the feeling, you day for feel at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
An experience that we no other person have get. So we actually get a unique voice in the African football universe. We
Mm-hmm.
the time I believe so the time be now we'll ever bring her out there.
Wow,
Yeah,
I think so too. And the good thing is, I see so many people
yeah,
trying to do something about that. You get people like Nathan, you get
yeah,
Toko Roland, Dr. Toko, you get Ayok, your man Ayok.
yeah,
We have so many people who have decided, hey, during my spare time, I not only go play veteran football, I will try to do something, set up a forum or just do something for keep that spirit alive and continue for share the information. Now, we'll share the video a little bit.
yeah,
We'll share the video a little bit, and then we'll go ahead with the conversation. I'll share the link with you.
yeah. Are you sure? For me, I will need to share it with a couple of people.
Mm. By the way, those who are watching, please don't forget to share also. We want to get this beautiful, beautiful conversation. I see my boss Ayok Igba.
True Lion.
True life. I think some point for the conversation, we'll send you link. May you join if you know the bolo. If you get chance, we'll send you link. May you join.
Okay.
So if you ask your questions directly, you don't get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, let us go ahead and share, please, please. For the few where they watch, please share the video. We'll get uh, we'll get more people watching. So not like the conversation will be more interesting, but the fact that they ask questions
Yeah.
in comments on our opinions, it will make them better.
Yeah.
Mm. Yep, 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 yep. Man, I dey talk with I get a few people, professional, ex-professional footballers that I dey talk with, and with time,
Yeah.
most of them
We
go
could
to
bring
join
them
this
up.
segment. Yeah. So one year their own opinion on certain things. I feel like what we're doing are one of the best way for document um information. Okay, so boss, now for a very long time.
Yeah.
But by the way, like I said, me and you get our experience for our own level.
Yeah.
And the good thing that say we are actually that generation. I feel say na a bridge between the really older generation and the
Yeah.
people now. And then we get lucky, say our own time say we know the Cameroon, we get internet and all of that for follow.
Yeah.
So person visit if you know what they happen. For you, what do you think say be the difference between the football back in the days and the football now? Because we always get this argument, say, if Maradona be playing now, if we win, I just give example for
Yeah,
Maradona. Oh, for instance, let's say Roger Mila. If
yeah.
Roger Mila be playing now for the era, if we win more trophies and maybe more individual whatever, and then so people they say no, 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 no. If it to be play for that time be say easy, be simple. If we do
Mm.
more, so for you, wait to be the difference between that era and the era.
So it be very difficult. It's always very difficult to compare soccer across eras, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because now you get a huge accent on the physical preparation of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you get players in back in the day we if they not drink a 12 pack, they not fit play.
Yeah.
You get for instance, go for Brazil, you get Socrates,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can smoke a pack of cigarettes a day.
Wow.
Um the intensity of the game now,
Mm-hmm.
intensity of the game now, you know if you do those things.
Wow.
You bring all those players them. I don't go watch old soccer back in the day. Like the other day I check out a game, Cameroon Ivory Coast
Mm-hmm.
for 1984.
Mm-hmm.
Not just a very small snippet where I actually watch.
Good.
But the game will be so slow. Like it looked like say people that basically
I
walk out.
watch games sometimes. I look Pele drew, maybe they drew people, and
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
It stopped like four times. So you notice that even Luke Garincha, they'd be like, okay, the greatest dribbler in the land.
Mm-hmm.
It is stopped some ridiculous amount of times.
Wow.
At this day and age, nobody never do that.
Mm-hmm.
So it actually did different. It'd be so impossible to compare across
Mm-hmm.
the difference, let's say, will not be get so many opportunities than back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So the players that will be kissing will be get fewer teams,
Mm-hmm.
will be get fewer matches,
Mm-hmm.
will be get so the players that will be actually get to the top level, they will be now the best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
So now that problem that will compare across eras, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
back in the day in that era, well, we get a team, we get fewer teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like for Boya, we get Prisons of Boya,
Yeah.
even at the main team.
Mm-hmm.
So if you make a generalization and it not be empiric by any chance,
Mm-hmm.
say the best player then for Boya, they go play now for Prisons.
Prison.
So when you watch Prisons play, you watch now the absolute best for Boya.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, maybe rocket, maybe some rocket science principle where I talk say if you always be correct, if you be
Mm-hmm.
wrong too. Now you get like you get like 10 teams for Boya. So the the um the talent pool,
Mm-hmm.
it don't be a little bit diluted.
Mm-hmm.
You get different people there, you get different stuff. You get and now you get a lot of openings soccer wise, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you go 100 different countries.
Mm-hmm.
Ashu Kerido, we keep catch for Cameroon the under 23, we keep play for Guinea.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, Cameroonians and then even no who say Guinea day for go play there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's until way if some person want tell you, say you want compare for talk which one be better or which one be worse,
Mm-hmm.
it could possibly make an error. And I don't want get into that kind of errors, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only difference, I say, back in the day, the talent pool seemed to be a little bit more concentrated because you know we get a lot of opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
You be get for Douala, you get a couple of teams. If you get Union, I mean, we get Namo
Mm-hmm.
and Kaima, but now you don't get
So many.
so many. As you don't get like teams and today they come out tomorrow they go down. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
You don't make a way or everybody to play football. It's supposed to be a good thing, but we
Mm-hmm.
give a know how to canalize them, right?
Mm-hmm.
We gave a know how to make them in such a way that we turn that into a good thing because we just get a cacophony. Like any manager we got today, I don't for mountain. I don't for mountain. You take
Mm-hmm.
Katime, they put them. And when you dilute the talent pool, right? Instead of getting two teams for Boya, if you get 50 teams, I mean, no way, shape, or form, no term is in, you know, will reduce the level of competition.
Very true. And this brings us to one other thing I wanted to tell you. So many people, in as much as football for me and you, at one point in time, growing up, I feel like it was more of entertainment.
Yeah,
We go play when we want really just enjoy ourselves, we want enjoy the game.
yeah.
Uh, but then nowadays we don't realize it is so hey, na business.
That's not
Mm-hmm.
another huge difference, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they always talk this story about Una come out from the Anglophone area,
Mm-hmm.
Kale, Grant, Okodem. I they always tell them, So when I be absolute heroes and for the fact that when I actually play the game,
Mhm.
go to the level when I get on teams.
Mhm.
I know tons of people that have been wizards and for the game that they be
Mhm.
small.
Mhm.
Who play like the Macage, who play all those things. They were
Mhm.
extremely good. But they get these parents the way will not be shown that opportunity where football will give you. And that opportunity will not be that much.
Mhm.
Because you look at the players that they play back in the day, they not be affluent.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
Uh, Miller will be one of the greatest to play the game for Africa.
Mhm.
He be struggle. Like for 1990, Miller they still struggle to find money. He tell Abiola say, no, I need to be paid this to play.
Mhm.
So we will not be get. I mean, everything we do for life, for the most part,
Mhm.
you know, fit minimize the impact of the community bearing on it.
Mhm.
They like they like Jay Z. They ever talk say that way we grow up. Every man will be saying for the community be either a rapper or a drug dealer.
Mhm.
He can be a rapper and a drug dealer.
Mhm.
So now the difference now, and I say all these new guys that don't come with good stuff. It's
Mhm.
supposed to be a good thing, right? Again, the key enough how to canalize them. Eto Fiba, I see the other day you go meet your chiefs then for Mam and Inu. He
Mhm.
tell them say you go build a stadium with your own money.
Mhm.
Boy, that is some not real money that you know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm.
And I appreciate them, but I don't know why. I don't think that's how it should
That's it should
work.
work.
But
Yeah.
hey, listen, now money if you do it, you want to do it's money. But you get that kind of examples then. You even
Mhm.
get guys that if you go like for Central Africa, right? Like
Mhm.
Samuel Len,
Mhm.
the Cameroonian who is naturalized in Central Africa.
Mhm.
He'll probably make some good money if he bring up to society. Can't just say, hey, I don't buy my new motor.
Mhm.
I'll be footballer. It don't start be so irrelevant about as to where you play. And one
Mhm.
of the saddest things in that
Mhm.
guy then David they go Syria, guy they go Oman,
Mhm.
guy they go second division for Serbia.
Mhm.
The economics is into the push people to do some really crazy stuff.
This brings us to
Yeah,
we were known at one point in time. We're known to be giant of Africa.
yeah,
We had very few countries. We had Cameroon, Nigeria, maybe Egypt.
yeah,
Kind of very few names. Nowadays, it's difficult for even call someone the giant of Africa before Zambia or Zimbabwe wholly beat and 3-0.
yeah.
What could
Ivory Coast.
what could be the problem? What did it happen? Where back in the days it was easy to say Cameroon go beat Benin,
Yeah,
but nowadays you need to really.
the story they always be told say back in the day when Cameroon they play right.
Mhm.
You go for a walk or you go watch you go
You
watch
go watch whatever you watch. You
movie.
can ask us.
You can ask them how many
Yeah.
who beat them by how many. But again, like good and bad thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
The world change.
Very true.
Things that they open. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of things that they open. The opportunities where Cameroonians they get them right.
Mm-hmm.
We know we know like we miss our chance.
Mm-hmm.
So one time one day we Cameroon will be extremely good. We can even invite French clubs and we can play for Cameroon.
Yes.
Because remember na so Omam them and Kunde then the carry
They
on
can travel.
where Laval, Rennes, the picky can play for Yaoundé.
Yes.
Can play Canon and stuff. We get a head start on the other
Wow.
countries.
Wow.
We get that exposure, we be a good team. We get foreign coaches, we get the buzz.
Mm-hmm.
Say Cameroon be good. We miss our chance in the sense say mismanagement, corruption. When
Wow.
money come in, people they start screw up.
Yeah.
Now, the strange thing with chance, and the strange thing is a very good thing. I say chance could go for everybody.
Wow.
And the other countries, and now they don't get that chance
Chance to
for
exploit them.
be open,
Mm-hmm.
for send their players abroad, for
Mm-hmm.
build their stadiums, for get trainers there.
Build a good structure within.
They actually do 'em.
Wow.
They actually do 'em. So when they do 'em, what did happen? I say you will get a chance before.
Mm-hmm.
They catch up to you really fast.
Mm-hmm.
You don't got make a now way. They talk say um no big team, no the Africa. Well, technically, no be really true.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you want to look the biggest competition for Africa,
I
now
still that
only
same
so now the
team.
same teams that win,
Mm-hmm.
right? Burkina Faso will go semi-finals
Mm-hmm.
couple of times. Mali will go semi-finals a
Mm-hmm.
couple of times. Now still Senegal, Cameroon, Ghana,
Ghana,
Nigeria, Egypt
Nigeria.
go winner.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing for World Cup. Big
Mm-hmm.
team, no the big team. Now only 8 teams that don't win World Cup for history. I mean,
Go wake up.
winner.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because Spain will be on the outside and Spain winner for
Mm-hmm.
2010.
Then.
So big team this today.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at Confederation Cup,
Mm-hmm.
now still teams them from Algeria, Egypt, and this. The problem with Cameroon, I say, and we still get time for catch up.
Yes.
The problem with Cameroon, I say, that head start will be get time. Will be they with the same position they like Egypt, Ghana, Algeria, Morocco, over fit develop of football, over fit build our stadiums, over fit. I mean, I don't want to really just talk about the stadiums because we get on one stadium. We don't we don't build the stadium for the longest time. Over fit do all those things,
Mm-hmm.
we'll miss the chance.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll get these other people that come out. Now all their players into they play abroad,
Mm-hmm.
right? Gabon,
Mm-hmm.
they get players and they play for the same leagues like Cameroon. You get Ghana, same leagues like Cameroon. They play for France, they play
Mm-hmm.
for Italy, they play for England. So we don't can reach that same level. But now they get organization,
Mm-hmm.
and we would struggle, would scramble. We want these competitions them from under 15, under 17, under 20, under 23.
Mm-hmm.
We will be get for those doing back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
We by now we just get not just three Frenchman called rouleau compressor where they just
Mm-hmm.
it
It's
just
just
the
yeah.
low or the struggle for put them together.
Do you think that that's the same thing America did to get to where they are today? Because I think last World Cup, America became like one of that team that people will watch out for.
So America don't do a lot of things before
Mm-hmm.
they get to this level, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first way they do them back in the years,
Mm-hmm.
that's the way Saudi Arabia they try for do. They bring in stars.
Mm-hmm.
They bring in Pele. They bring Rummenigge. They bring George Best.
Mm-hmm.
They bring all the stars in the 70s and the 80s.
Can introduce football.
Yes, for kind to introduce football.
Mm-hmm.
That thing don't show say really it need to really work.
Work. Mm-hmm.
So whatever Saudi Arabia they try for do, I mean Saudi Arabia don't start by younger players. Then.
Mm-hmm.
I mean I don't want to digress. I want
Mm-hmm.
really be focused on this case. So America first bring those ones,
Mm-hmm.
right? It don't really work because the league, the old league we play, they cancel the league after a while.
Mm-hmm.
Other OO player they don't work. Then they go more organic, right?
Mm-hmm.
They start you discover say Americans they play they be big on school soccer, right? You get people that play varsity soccer, you get people that play division 1 soccer, they go back to
Mm-hmm.
the ground roots. They start build up their institutions and from kids. You go for field, you get playgrounds for kids. They build their male soccer, they build their female soccer, they build academies. They started train players and now players that play the game. You get all these um this clean them, see them. Now people they go through the academy system for America.
Mm-hmm.
You get someone there, they go, they come up pretty fast, they run go Europe. You
Mm-hmm.
get Pulisic, you go Europe at the age of 14.
Mm-hmm.
But not because you don't get some promise for America here.
Mm-hmm.
You get the Freddie Adus, they graduate from the America Soccer, they can say School of Excellence.
Mm-hmm.
So they go back to that organic level, they start get their players then.
Mm-hmm.
Then when their players they start reaching certain age, they start ship them for Europe.
Mm-hmm.
You get Aaron Johansson, then you play there for Leeds.
Mm-hmm.
You get Weston McKennie, you get Pulisic, you get I mean, I don't know why Isaac Stephanie play for goal for America because I want to be their best goalkeeper.
Mm.
But you notice that they get a lot of players abroad.
Oh boy.
So they go through the process of building their institutions step by step. I don't start being now and now they're just for doing that for expand their base on players abroad
Mm-hmm.
because they get players abroad, but not as much.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to look at, in that you want to look at in that soccer universe. America really, I mean, not true say in the 50s they go World Cup, but that one they be taking a bunch of college kids.
Mm-hmm.
They go beat England 2-0. America really make the entrance into the world of soccer in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Where they do Italia 1990.
Mm-hmm.
They be a little bit exotic, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be know what you expect from America.
Mm-hmm.
Then Italy can beat them only 1-0 for that tournament. I mean the Czech Republic we crushed them 5-1 or something. But they start introduce we player then like Kobe Jones, Alexi Lalas. That is, then you also get forget the football culture, right? Americans they be very tenacious.
Mm-hmm.
They run a lot. They give like Americans they like person where Muyelo Mayo, right?
Mhm.
Fight for the shirt, fight
Mhm.
for shirt and country. We
Mhm.
believe we will win. The
Mhm.
USA, you know if you beat them easily, right? Then of course you get other countries them in their hemisphere, Mexico, Costa
Mhm.
Rica, now Canada to enter with pushing really hard. You get something really nice going around. Then of course they put money into their stuff.
Wow.
They put money. Back in the day, most MLS leagues, most MLS teams then they will be like their value, their soccer value will be pretty low. But now you get Inter Miami.
Mhm.
I actually wait for see how much that club is valued at now with Messi Candy.
Mhm.
Beckham come for Galaxy, Beckham and Steven Gerrard
Mhm.
and Ibrahimovic.
Mhm.
They can blow the thing off the roof.
Thierry
But
Henry played there also, right?
Thierry Henry play now for New York.
Mhm.
Yeah, he played for New York. But no, 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 no. I think Thierry Henry played in I think Toronto. I'm not sure. So
Mhm.
I'll have to check on it. But Thierry Henry
Mhm.
played in the league.
Mhm.
But the difference now say the American don't invest like organically into the system for every single level. Even their coaches them, they invest in their coaches. Their coaches them start to go for Europe.
Mhm.
And start to go for Europe. The coach for Europe and they do stuff for Europe.
Now, my next question go, yeah,
So really quick, Thierry Henry play for New York Red Bulls.
okay.
Yeah.
So I think my next question would be, like you said, right? It's about structuring,
Yeah.
being intentional, know which way you want them, and go for it. Now, the question I want to ask you now: do you think with the people will get them in place now for Faker Food, we will
Mhm.
at least make some progress, even if it means we'll build a good foundation? And, like, what is your opinion on it to fit at the head and then surrounded by mostly ancient Cameroonian national team players?
So the biggest error where people they make on football, right? The
Mm-hmm.
biggest error people make in football is they think that football exists in a vacuum,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now, um, I don't want to sound political or I don't want to sound as a social critic,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of things for Cameroon work
Mm-hmm.
because for any trade you try for build for a society, right? The
Mm-hmm.
powers that be, they need to support them, they need to follow them,
Mm-hmm.
right? Some countries in there, right? Again, may I digress because
Mm-hmm.
nobody never get into trouble. Some countries in the way the powers that be, they no go allow me some correcting be. May I put it that way?
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Roads for Cameroon will be the best, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you talk to the health sector for Cameroon will be the best.
Best
Musician for Cameroon they get a tough time.
hotels and all of that.
Yes, I mean we love the country, our
Mm-hmm.
country. We know speak on our country.
Mm-hmm.
It could be very difficult. Me football come out, just be in a vacuum, just be
Mm-hmm.
perfect because you did deal with a certain mentality. You give a shift. You give a shift thinkings. You give a shift mindsets.
Mm-hmm.
You give for make many people they understand that they fight for the greater good when they try to build football.
Mm-hmm.
That concept no day for Cameroon.
Wow.
You know they prevalent. I mean, people then they get them. Come on, Cameroon, no good folks in Cameroon.
Mm-hmm.
But we talk about a generalized concept where people then know so that they fight for a greater good.
Mm-hmm.
It is make in such a way that if you get Ito and all the other players, they come out with something there for the greater good. But some other man they look these guys like because I'll give you an example, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember the previous World Cups?
Yes.
You go get delegation of commerce, you get Ministry of Commerce, you go
Mm-hmm.
send people.
Yeah.
Ministry of Foreign Affairs go send
Same
people.
people.
It be na the buffet, right? Now World Cup, I want carry six people go
Any man can
England.
cut
I
your own
want carry
small.
this. You understand? Now it don't come to it to the try for doing and say you want narrow and down, right? Now
Mm-hmm.
federation give a corner. You know the last week I not really see minister that prominence where each after
Yeah.
each match minister will come, they will sing national anthem,
Mm-hmm.
blah blah blah. I think that way other countries they do. Minister they just show up now one time. Like you see French Federation, they do their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If they get on problem, they be get time for nice and minister will show up.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, not be minister of football and minister of sports. But the guy they look and see a place and give me a go chop, right? They go for bring their dancer in.
Mm-hmm.
Traditional group, you get less than 50 traditional group. I mean, when the man for 2014, some man for AD Brazil, the man enter like translator inside delegation. You understand? So Cameroon football, it be very difficult for progress beyond a certain point because the first thing as the people they get for change their mentality is on everything.
Mhm.
Start to look at wait be good for the greater good.
Mhm.
What will we do for the greater good? Sometimes we mean and say, me, you wait in the forefront, me take a back seat.
Mhm.
Come on, and they know this.
No, they're ready. Yeah.
Me go be and say, me, you wait, you get the land. Me sell them for half price, maybe municipality develop a stadium.
Mhm.
I mean, for America, if you go do, I'm just saying me they put my name for it or put them Jim and Jill
Mhm.
football stadium. Like people they don't buy into the concept of the greater good. It
Mhm.
make a way anything you want to do for football for Cameroon it be extremely difficult.
Difficult.
You go get some person way okay, now the talk of the town now Popo their president, right?
Mhm.
He don't take a Popo for first division. Sadly they knocked them out for
Come on, come.
Cameroon Cup yesterday, but they give a good account of themselves. They play against football.
Mhm.
Not be crime for loss against football. He talk about buying players. At the rate you want buy some guy from Bamboo Twist, you want pay 500,000 and stuff.
Mhm.
Not be the greater good, right? Now he want the struggle. He
Struggle.
get 2 or 3 people that he help you. People they never come out say no to club, never hour they'll
Mhm.
go. Then Cameroonians they get this habit of being very like this kind of blood testing non-combatants, right?
Mhm.
My way need to fight, but I need to cry blood.
Mhm.
They go the watch and you dey do them, right?
Mhm.
Then when you succeed, yeah, oh Popo, then when you feel the kind of vitriolic insults that go on, you'll be like, wait a minute. So now that it be so difficult for even get a a thought about the direction where it to go. I mean, it talk the direction. You want to
You want
restore
to do this?
Cameroon
Yeah.
to the summit of football. It talk the direction.
Mhm.
But you will sit back and you look at the society where they in.
Mhm.
You look at the fact, say, um, and I feel be wrong on this. I
Mhm.
don't think that the authorities they get any interest
In
from
helping him.
from make say me something they way it work perfectly well for Cameroon. Because if the team they work perfectly well, what the people go talk? When I know if you give water, see how the man they run fake food.
Mhm.
So you can start me now some power play.
Yeah.
You can start me now something way. Say for say some of 2021 Nations Cup, it will take a backseat, right?
Mhm.
Because they want it be
Mhm.
popular, it to president,
Mhm. Yeah.
for our it be like, wait a
Yeah. No,
minute,
not another man.
that man the president,
Yeah.
once on station, people they'll start be like, some voice not be even past some minister, Jean de Dieu Momo,
Mhm.
it blast it be
Let's
like,
just say if you say we will,
yeah,
if you say one change with we will never change it.
exactly.
Yeah. That
So,
was that
so
was I don't know. Yeah.
of course the minister can't deny because they cash hand inside the pot, right?
Mhm.
But now the problem that we'll get we'll get some society will be so strange and uneven. When you dey try for do something where it makes sense, right? And this society now, it be so infectious with the regular man for Kate,
Mhm.
you not believing we're going to get the calculator in my pocket.
Um. Everything being equal,
Yeah.
you think say if we take a tool like how many years for restructure and then get us to a place we want to be.
So you go take anything between 50 to 100 years. And I'll explain myself. I know one be
Mhm.
I know can be smart with you. If you want do one,
Mhm.
now by the processes then way it use them,
Mhm.
right? The way of society they we need na some person we he be given a lot of powers and resources. And if he given and that person, the difficulty with getting that person, I say that person will be a bad person.
Mhm.
You understand? But the way where the societies and the way with societies and now, right?
Mhm.
It will take you forever. For instance, simple stuff.
Mhm.
It will give supposedly be supposed to give 5 million each team from a junior team, right? For
Mhm.
Cameroon. And from where to the key talk the money be there.
Mhm.
Because now sponsors they give the money be there.
Mhm.
How many teams they form a junior team? Zero, none.
But they want the money.
This guy, that's how happy Wiki Taxi, they don't give that money. Simple. Form a junior team, you get 5 million. You see how difficult it's in there.
Mhm.
You did deal. So the
Can I ask you something?
yeah.
So do you think the problem with our football, right, is the structure, the bad structure of the country, uh, the footballing body fake food, or it's more of the people the way they even lead football. Like if you were to I don't know, if you were to point a finger on like who do you now who do you think say the worst? The people that they manage the football as presidents.
So
Mm-hmm.
so it starts at the beginning. It starts at the top, right? It starts
Mm-hmm.
at the head.
Mm-hmm.
Every, like, Americans say the buck stops with the leader.
Mm-hmm.
The leader gave us set a tone where the country will follow.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You know, as the talk say, when they knock drum, that's how you dance.
Mm-hmm.
If they knock drum crazy, you dance crazy.
True.
You understand? Except white people, they dance their own kind.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? But the tone where they don't set them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, self keeper. Now, any man chop for himself.
Mm-hmm.
Now, any man did this. So, initially, now the people they set the tone, right?
Tone.
The clear example na Kagame, right?
Yes.
Kagame don't got make sense. My men then they go Rwanda, Kigali, they tell me say you need to throw away paper for road.
Yeah.
We throw
But
paper for road,
different
they're
times is
looking like,
mm-hmm.
hey bro, pick that before you go spend some time in jail, right?
Mm-hmm.
The key problem, the person to blame, not the authorities.
Mm-hmm.
They don't set some tone way Cameroon society now are just chance.
Mm-hmm.
Then now you get tons and tons of people that don't come pass through Feka food with their normalization committees and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. They don't come, they don't discover saying now the game that way they just play the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think say if you want to look through, you'll get one or two people that try to play the game or do the right thing. The
Mm-hmm.
rest of them are just cacophony. Like some sometimes we will go like 10, 15 tournaments where every single tournament somebody complains they not pay.
Yeah.
Or will get a complaint. Like if you just being just that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Then now you don't get that. Then the people then now they don't believe say I'm so supposed for do you like now wait today now the drums that way they play now the dance out on the dance and
Mm-hmm.
for 20, 30 years.
Wow.
So now the three levels in that you get the people that control society.
Mm-hmm.
You get the authorities the way they be directly in charge of the football where they
Football.
don't come in, they discover say who the dance, not the kind dance.
Mm-hmm.
Then the people they don't look and they know hold that people they are responsible.
Mm-hmm.
So when they just lost interest, like the first time you want to get canon union fee don't flop.
Mm-hmm.
As the football go down, all man just go your house and must the guy them. Now the problem with losing interest, and I say you be as complicit as Maui you do the wrong thing. They like the people they say they need vote. I say, you know, vote bad man win means now you put the bad
Yeah.
man.
Now you don't bring up something where I want more address and also
Yeah.
I see so many Kamala, like you were saying earlier,
Mhm.
you belong to a group which is supposed to be Manchester United.
Fans.
You belong for any group like that way, you belong to Opopo or this or that or
No. And no see some guy and they begin something about PW department at
mm-hmm.
one time. I
Mm-hmm.
think just before they become champions.
Champions.
And this is
Before
some
they qualify for first division or before they
no before they become champions. Because that way they qualify.
mm-hmm.
I start get
I think for me, actually, they actually add me for some group
yeah,
before they qualify. So yeah.
yes. After they qualify, I even start to get videos about
Mm-hmm.
their games then.
Mm-hmm.
They be get a good dance group.
Mm-hmm.
And I get a guy where we can sell tracksuits. And that very, very good initiatives. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that we go for really support them.
Mm-hmm.
Then I remember say Kale to be he tries to do something
For
for
PW to Kumba.
PWD Kumba, but it no be actually be up. It just be done
Mm-hmm.
and say it just needs support for these guys at this time. It no be done some
Mm-hmm.
fact they discuss.
Mm-hmm.
We'll not get some forum if we discuss like old players, if we discuss from time to time. For the football forums that will get on like Mansfield,
Mm-hmm.
Arlington Investment, and some of people put some old football picture for there,
Picture.
then people will talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
But would he quickly lost that culture? And one part of it would he lost that culture and I say, we'll not be getting a lot of souvenirs, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they tell you say PWDB play Puma Football Club for
No get
86 or 87,
they only tell you.
yeah, no man no get pictures, no man no get tips, no man no get stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You feel the good part with the white people that game now say they keep a lot of records.
Mm-hmm.
If you go back, go see what they do in the 60s and 70s. But we need those things, right?
Mm-hmm.
We need, I mean, for Cameroon, my club, where I don't always like an Akano.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now I see their Facebook, they get a Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
Then they get a lot of fan pages, like not a lot, like two, three. But I sound say people they don't start discuss. The African don't start discover say no man will talk about Africa for you.
Very true.
No man no
Very
go
true.
no man no go popularize your own stuff. Again,
Mm-hmm.
it be difficult. We not get, but it no mean say because it be difficult, it shouldn't be done.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, you dey discover say, Americans they get this funny question like, where are you from originally, right?
Mm-hmm.
That question you want to tell you say, whatever you do, however you do
Yeah.
it,
No see.
you know belong for
Yeah.
here, no be a place this, you
Mm-hmm.
understand?
Yeah.
So it just get for being a just normal human realization. Say at a certain time you give a promote your own.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get a beautiful story, we'll get a beautiful history.
Mm-hmm.
I've just talked to some guy yesterday about money.
Mm-hmm.
The money not go football school.
Mm-hmm.
If you imagine a player where he never even grow for Dakar, he grow for Bambali,
Mm-hmm.
then he come go Europe. They tell Remy be like, are you seriously there Europe? Like I'm say we get some small,
Mm-hmm.
like he get that push. But he be second best player in the world at one point.
Mm-hmm.
If you imagine that kind of story, now a quintessential rags to riches story
Yeah.
we get for Singam, we will talk say, look at what Africa produced.
Yeah.
But I mean, people them if you force people to get an interest in something and they want
Very
to get all
true.
right. But the reality is then I say no man no go do the work we supposed to do for
Very true.
you. Yeah.
Who said you see African football in the next 30, 50 years?
So
Because at the end of the day, they like would do pass what time we celebrate. Oh, first to play the quarterfinal, first to play the
yeah,
semi-final.
yeah.
Who said you see our soccer in
It,
50 years?
I believe say what's on the app of African soccer, it didn't that it put in a light way by that time African soccer could possibly don't catch up with the rest of the world, and it will be now with the help of the rest of the world. May I explain?
Mm-hmm.
The help of soccer in Europe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for the way the best soccer be played, the strongest competitions be played. The way African soccer goes, when I say first of all, African they give a fix their grassroots,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's a given, right? You get a global marketplace. Carry die for go sell am for market, right? You give a
Mm-hmm.
carry. I mean, of course, may I give a shout out to True Lion? You know go feed the lion of a market day, but we don't build a grassroots soccer, right?
Mm-hmm.
The economics, the nature of the football universe could tell you say your younger player them,
Mm-hmm.
your best player then you sell them to a club in Europe.
Yes.
Now Africans they don't start doing we don't be extremely competitive on the under 17. We don't be extremely competitive on the under 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Olympics, we don't start winning some Olympics. The countries them where they do the right thing. They will find themselves say they will sell their players at a younger age.
Mm-hmm.
Senegal, for instance, don't win everything under 17, under 20, under 23. They will, out of that crop, you will get like 15 players that will go to good leagues in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
That 15 players and get them within the next 5, 10 years, Senegal will be as competitive as the European countries. Them.
Wow.
Case in point, Morocco, right?
Mm-hmm.
You notice and say most of these players in Morocco get them. True, they start by getting good grassroots football and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But at a certain point, nearly all the players then they get and they play for Europe.
Euro
They play for good enough clubs.
clubs.
Maybe say you Komago they play for second division or Czech Republic. You get the coach.
Mm-hmm.
The coach basically play for good clubs in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Then come back and coach with that. Then win Champions League. Then they push it for Morocco. But wait till they happen and say the countries that they be smart enough, develop their football,
Mm-hmm.
sell their best players to the best leagues in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
You'll find out say that player then with the help of that European teams, and they'll be extremely competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
So person say one of the things we it weaken our football now the fact say we only export our players. He try to make the point say when you export these players, they go out there, they learn something different. So they train them like player they play for Europe, they train for play European style. But if you try for contrast that with the club, the team will get over 90, we come on get on 90, will
Mm-hmm.
be get just raw talent where they play mostly for Cameroon. And when they come together, it be difficult for person for predict which way they fit do. So you only get for method them for fit play them, discover them, either they win you or you win them. Either they win you or you really get a difficult match against them. Do you think that
Mm-hmm.
that whole concept of players traveling abroad is actually one of the reasons why our leagues are weak? And when our leagues are weak, probably the national team to go get problem.
So as a quick um as a quick point, 1990 we get basically half that team make it play for Cameroon. We at the highest level that we don't get them for any um we don't get them for any Cameroon team.
Mm-hmm.
Will be successful because that team will be successful. The reality will get an economic reality.
Mm-hmm.
Players will go abroad. Will not get no other option. Will not get no other option. It's what we do for build grassroots. Now forget these players them.
Mm-hmm.
Forget these players them. If a specific football culture when they go abroad,
Yes.
that they play some specific way where when you want to buy some player,
Yes.
you know say they come with some attributes where your own work for abroad now for developer. I'll give you an
Oh.
example like Brazilians, right?
True Lion, I sent a message. I don't put some message for comment section. If you see them, if you click the link will take you to where you fit join the live. Go ahead. Sorry,
So
bro.
I'll give you an example of Brazilian, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you want to buy a Brazilian player, what should you buy? You already know.
Yeah.
You already know say Brazil they play like this.
Mm-hmm.
Brazil they play like this. This is the kind of player I'm getting.
Getting, yeah.
So the two of you do because now even the Brazilian players they don't start to go abroad
Mm-hmm.
a lot more younger.
Yeah.
Vinicius them with Rodrigo and applied in at 2021, 22.
Yeah.
So you know if you stop players going abroad. Now economic reality.
Mm-hmm.
How much you go pay them for keep them Cameroon? The
Mm-hmm.
nurses are going abroad. The doctors, the engineers, the lawyers, they're going
Yeah.
abroad. Why you say player will stay? You see, say you if some Monday for Cameroon, right? You pay like you pay 500,000 because when they talk about going abroad, they talk about anybody. They talk about people they get the ability. A
Mm-hmm.
player where they 38 years old where they play for Unisport of Bafang, you know get an opportunity for going abroad. Now
Mm-hmm.
if you pay better, you pay well.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go help develop the economy, you go help bless a man and a family.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? But when you talk about these young kids that they're going abroad, right? You see, say if they pay them 400, 500,000 for Cameroon, you don't get opportunities. And because the world don't become a global village, you don't
Very
get
true.
opportunity, they pay them higher.
Mm-hmm.
The key now for before they want to go abroad, more develop a certain class of player.
Mm-hmm.
When one buy Brazilian player, you know where to get them.
Okay.
When one buy Argentinian player, you know where to get them. Even when
Mm-hmm.
one buy American player, you know where to get them, right?
Okay.
But if you want to ever say no, develop your football because you want to keep the players.
Mm-hmm.
Brazilian football is developed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Argentinian football is developed, right?
Mm-hmm.
See how many players they sell. Out. Every single country in the world probably get a Brazilian player.
Wow. True Lion, don't join we. We'll be there on the topic of one of the reasons. Someone actually argued that the reason why our league no be. I hope you get it clearly. By the way,
Yes, yes, for sure.
yeah. See, one of the reasons we our league not really be tough now because we the pass our time for say players. Which be your take on that?
I mean, I know things are not the only reason that why, but
Mm-hmm.
they say one of the reasons, which is true.
Mm-hmm.
But I also like more take example for different African countries, right? Or
Yes.
maybe for Brazil, or maybe from Croatia.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, say they don't get money. Regardless, say their players, and keep going abroad, right? We
Mm-hmm.
still say they still reproduce a fair amount of players year
Mm-hmm.
in year out. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So yes, as my brother clearly said, it's difficult for stop players from moving. But at what price are you selling your players? You see, Brazil is selling 16-year-old for 45 million. At what price are we selling our players? How do you improve your product? You know, we based on them.
Mm-hmm.
We one follow football now for national team level. That's that's not gonna get your players better, because
Mhm.
now grassroots, as my brother beyond talk, now grassroots, as players beyond talk, now grassroots football,
Mhm.
they make national team better. Then we will try for do the other way around. We will try for make players better by talking national team. No, as it
Mm.
talked earlier for MLS, they
Mhm.
start by building their grassroots, different level. And times, bro, you get great knowledge about how the game is supposed to be. But the fun I say, most of me, you, we get that
Mhm.
knowledge. We don't get the practicals. And that's the problem with Cameroon.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
I want you to jump in for which he talk,
Mhm.
right? And he talk about Croatia, right?
Mhm.
So actually, okay, I don't go do some small research on Croatia. And which he talk be really spot on, right?
Mhm.
Again, me and you agree on basically everything, right?
Mhm.
That's really so. You know, stop player we're going about.
Mhm.
You know, stop player we're going about. Wait to be the difference now. Wait to be the center abroad. Croatia, if I look at nearly every country in Europe, get a Croatian player. But you know what the Croatian they do?
Mhm.
And not only for soccer, oh, because
Mhm.
if you looked at ex Yugoslavia, like the man for tennis, if you tell you
Mhm.
Djokovic,
Djokovic.
Djokovic,
Mhm.
Ivanovic, you get a bunch of excellent players that come out from
Mhm.
the state, right?
Mhm.
And again, that one, now one way any man will take them from your own side. Because some
Mhm.
people of say state, some people say private.
Mhm.
But the state in that Eastern European countries, which they do not say, they go big on basic football.
Okay.
They go big. Wait, um, this guy Luka Modric gonna have a Dinamo Zagreb their football school in a Kovacevic.
Mhm.
So before Modric one come out, can they run around for Tottenham?
Mhm.
If you don't really be that product, like the key, I say, you don't really care whether when I go take 50 player, then when I play they come out now for when I 50 player then for national team come out now for this place, now for that place.
Mhm.
For the grassroots, wait to be one football culture, wait to be one the center out there.
Mhm.
You understand? Cameroon is zero. Like Cameroon, I just say now, so everybody don't forget everything, right?
Wow.
Everybody don't forget everything. We go there, we go make noise, we go make noise, we go make noise.
Mhm.
2024, when the Nations Cup hit,
They
I mean,
count.
God will will beat Burundi because at this level, we'll probably struggle against Burundi. All man go start making noise. Now, under
Mhm.
Basega, oh, you need to walk like that. You see, Croatia, like you go look all their players, you tell you get two main teams in the right. You get
Mhm.
Dinamo Zagreb, you get Hajduk of Split for Croatia.
Mhm.
Then you get small football school. Then you get someone in a state football school. Then you get someone in a personal football school. Then you get player. Then like now, what did happen? I say initially they are players and they became producer players, and when they go out at the age of 20 to 25
Mhm.
because now Europeans and they'll take them.
Mhm.
Now they don't even start be younger. That guy, that Gaviol, the defender, I think truly I remember that defender. Gaviol, right? Probably not be the best defender for World Cup.
Mhm.
I say Iran into Messi was semi-finals and Messi
Mhm.
take it to the cleaners, right? But before that, if you get an excellent World Cup,
Mhm.
their players and also the produce them even younger. They go abroad, don't get me
I
wrong.
I really I strongly believe in what you guys are saying, because if you look at I think the best national team will get one of the best, man, not say the best. Some people they argue saying a 90 be the best, but for me, now between 2000 and 2004, where we
Yes.
get the likes of the Samuel Toden Boma,
They come
yeah,
out
and if
for
you look
Yeah,
that group, most of them they come out for that Brazil school early days and Kaji Sport Academy early days.
yeah.
yeah,
So technically 15 years later, we be fit get that kind of group. And then after that, you realize the Brazil school is not even popular anymore.
Mhm.
One of their
yeah.
best players they produce some lately now, who Clinton.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look at
Matt
what
talk
is
something.
happening. Yes,
Matt just follow up with you. Matt talk something, right? You know, say
yes,
football don't evolve, right?
yes.
Before, our players earlier talk, there was Canon Tone. So
Mm-hmm.
both players of the national team they give playing for Canon Tone, Union, a few from Union 1 or 2. But
Yes.
now evolve now to a call the football Brazil. We'll get that in a Brazilian school, that one where all that
Yeah.
will with them, a told and go at some certain point and all that. So you see
Yes.
that type of players for 1998, and Claude Leroy, we know them a lot very well.
Yeah.
So you see that 19, if you watch, a lot of people want to talk about 2000, but just go watch Cameroon, because I believe that game against Chile would have been
Mm-hmm.
Chile. You know,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cameroon would have gone far into the second round. Go watch
Mm-hmm.
Cameroon for 1998. Now, for there, that team start
Very true. Very
progressing.
true.
Then the team win back-to-back Nations Cup. Then it
Mm-hmm.
go. Some of them go. So Brazilians could be rigged, but I just say we know they follow up. And
Yeah.
football they progress at a very, very fast rate.
Fast rate.
Now
Very
you see
true.
most of the players the way they come up, where they can't play for African national teams, because it's not only limited to Cameroon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? They train them now for Clairefontaine, or maybe for Belgium, or all
Mm-hmm.
that. So because thing with these European club, they realize now, say they know when they travel again, they go Africa, or they go watch Nations Cup for fine players. No,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of we don't migrate for years. So they take these African kids, they say, why we will travel for day? You
Mm-hmm.
know, Clairefontaine make it. And you talk also a very good point about Morocco.
Mm-hmm.
Morocco has one of the best grassroots football in Africa. You know,
Yeah.
then if you talk about this, you talk about also about Croatia. Yes, it's not the players sometimes the way football on you know if you stop players from going or chasing
Going.
money. Just see this guy for Wolf
Mm-hmm.
Neves, where
Yeah.
he don't come out at the age of 26, go
That
Saudi
was
Arabia.
disappointing though, myself. I wonder
You
guy
know,
from Manchester.
yeah, a lot of people they vex, but guess what?
Yeah.
Footballers also have to make money, right? It's a
Yes.
business, you know,
Wow.
and for payee is quite unfortunate. You talk say 50 to 100 years. Now you talk 50 to 100 years, I clap for you, because exactly it's gonna be
Yeah.
very, very difficult. But the way we can do it is that if mindsets can change,
Mm-hmm.
then we start grow from, because if you know plant, you know fish so.
Very true.
Yeah.
We the one harvest, we the one wait when Nations Cup come, we jump on front TV. Welcome.
Yeah.
No, may we take time, plan football, then we will have a state.
And truly, you notice one thing with Cameroonians. Some games in the way you the chance will give a lost the game, right? You see,
Mm-hmm.
say the competition will not do well.
Mm-hmm.
Now you don't even notice, say, when you put people in down, you tell them, say, but listen, the whole thing was totally cacophony. Like you support them because they
Mm-hmm.
become money. You want them
Yeah.
to win. If you want to say they've been at the lone odd guy in the room,
Mm-hmm.
people they look him, they know who get for beat X country.
Mm-hmm.
They go look what did that country do for practice or prepare. That country don't get an under 16 we don't play, so
Mm-hmm.
don't get under 18.
Again, record.
You want to go look some player, the player don't move from under 16,
Mm-hmm.
18, 20,
Look at
23. They
the
get some certain
very true.
play styles, some certain culture where they don't build them for 5 years and can't beat Cameroon. It'll be like, but
Exactly.
the country named
Mm-hmm.
Burkina Faso, for
Mm-hmm.
instance, they don't support beat Cameroon.
Yeah.
No, it no be based on that. The way I want to explain our people, you discover, say, you be the lone guy in the room with the try for talk, say,
Yeah.
this thing not a science.
Yeah.
Football again, no be not science.
Mm-hmm.
You do your work, you put in the work, it come out.
Mm-hmm.
Now you
Exactly.
discover now, say,
Mhm.
when now just finish real quick. You discover now, say, now the mentality that way they deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Now the mentality that way they for Cameroon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, boss.
Major at something Flavious. Flavious, you don't realize, say, you at least you get a recollection, right? You get a history. If you imagine when you used to go watch your canon, you get a
Yeah,
history. Now, some of Cameroon people they need to go feed, right?
yeah,
So the way people they pass their time don't change, because me I remember that day I grew up for Douala. That day
yeah,
Douala when games that they go na kudu, my dad would tell me say if you no go church, I need the carry go field, right?
Mm-hmm.
So no matter which side, where at what time I come back house Sunday, or if I come out yesterday, I must try to go church so that I won't go field.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
So we built a culture where you want to go field, then you know your players, then you know. No, nowadays, no man will
yeah.
go play, right? So there is not that culture. That's why I write an article about football culture. How do
Mm-hmm.
we build back our culture? Because people don't know where to be football anymore, right?
Can, can
People
we
they
can
look
we
at
can we
social
address
media.
that next session? We'll get how to build back the culture.
Yeah, because people they
Mm-hmm.
look at social media, they're facing a football culture that right. They just
Yeah,
see one or two things, then they start talking about them. But the element of surprise was there in 1990, where Cameroon
yeah,
used and beat Argentina because they nobody know. But nowadays, there are
yeah,
platforms where if I want follow player, I just go put that player in him and know their strengths, their
Mm-hmm.
weaknesses, everything. So that's why you see even good clubs, they
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
have to change their system of play frequently. You see the Italians, Cantenaccio, defending, is built on defending. You see the Dutch, tiki taka, the French,
Mm.
the physique and personal ability. So everybody has a culture. You talk about the Americans running everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
wait to do your own culture.
And
That's
that
what
is
we
that
have.
is Flavius, that's actually what I was trying to say. When
Mm.
we have players who play for these clubs
Mhm.
where they get their own culture, their style of play, and then they come back for Cameroon, where maybe the coach maybe understand these different cultures. And because if you get one or two player where they play for Spain, you get another one where they play for England. I mean, say this is uh different cultures where you not gonna put them for one pot and then prepare them. You understand?
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
feel
yeah. That's why. That's
yeah.
why. That's why you're the coach, right? But this is the thing.
No, you feel be the coach, but me, I personally feel like that's the reason why we are getting all these difficulty. But if we get right,
Yeah,
like a good grassroots football, we get good
that's the
pull
key.
from back home.
Yep.
We will also if we
Not
get our 15 players.
not
Yeah.
pool.
Mm-hmm.
Good grassroots football and a
Mm-hmm.
culture. I don't care about the pool from back home because as truly I not talk, we
Mm-hmm.
don't agree on this.
Mm-hmm.
Some certain level of economics there where you know if you control whether players stay home or
Or
not.
go, yeah.
Because you keep talking now. A lot of I don't say comment about
Mm-hmm.
why no select player for Cameroon.
Mm-hmm.
We'll not go into that
Mm-hmm.
because we feel but the proper way I say we need strong personalities, right?
Mm-hmm.
We need a football culture based on what way that they do at the grassroots.
Mm-hmm.
America get Serginho Dest, right? For instance,
Mm-hmm.
Serginho Dest, you know, I ever play for America. Now play away Papa na Dutch,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. Mamina, they go begging me can play.
Mm-hmm.
Folarin Balogun, it no one ever play for America. My first games in this way, he can play for the cup. But it come into a culture.
Mm-hmm.
It come that he tell you already say, oh boy, now so you
Sure.
play, now so you run, now so you do.
Mm-hmm.
The key now say we never build that culture. When you talk about keeping players there for home, yes, if we keep players there for home, not good thing.
Mm-hmm.
A good thing if we pay them fine, but we'll not get that culture. We'll not get that culture for under 14s, under 16s, under 17s, 18, 20. We'll not get that. When they talk about grassroots, they need talking as many player they remain for house.
Mm-hmm.
They talk as we'll get
Build
that
a
culture
system.
so that when you come in,
Mm-hmm.
you know say that the culture that's you know say Brazilian player in the way that they abroad. Like Firmino, right?
Mm-hmm.
Firmino never play for any of the big teams for Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
But it come with the culture don't be set. I mean, their own they get decades of culture, right? When
Mm-hmm.
you say Brazil not Joga
Mm-hmm.
Bonito, they don't
Mm-hmm.
be them. Now, the culture be set way. I give example Vinicius,
Mm-hmm.
come on now for Flamengo, right? He spend most of his time now for Flamengo, their training school, their football school, right?
Mm-hmm.
He not really play that much for Flamengo, but they buy really early. Hendrick, where he come up Palmeiras.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? That people that they don't mentally get the Brazilian culture where if you go be for Europe for 2 decades, they go still play. So when they talk about grassroots, right? And it like the bonus now say if una build una league them, they wanna players they remain, that's a bonus.
Mm-hmm.
But the economics don't make a way, you not get no guarantee to the player will remain. But if una build una leagues, una build una football school, and una build a football culture way, any man way they abroad,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of these Moroccan players they come, they get a culture already. And if you don't fit in that culture, could you go play for France? Go play for different countries. And but the continuous talk of pick player there for local leagues, now a bonus, not be a guaranteed because the economics there against most countries that not being for Europe, for Asia, like Middle East now.
Mm-hmm.
Like all man for we say me Ruben Neves remain for Europe.
Mm-hmm.
But as Trula and talk, you give a feed the family. But if you go play for Saudi Arabia, you know change nothing because Portugal get a football culture where they don't belong across 30 years.
Chula, I want to ask you some questions. Sometimes I feel like we will the diaspora, we too need help the situation back home. Would they for play will get the resources, would they for play we will feel guide our picking them. Uh like the Mbappes them and all these guys them and at the end of the day we'll ship them back when they go represent PE. What should be your take on that?
Bro, it's a difficult situation, right? Because your picking will grow here. Because when you talk say you're picking,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be papa, I'll get picking, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We grow in a society, in a community over here where Not that way be used to.
Mm-hmm.
Then when they don't they see light,
Yeah.
I could take it go expose you something way because football, you never know, football is psychological.
Very true.
Yeah.
There are players where they will crack with the least pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And there are players that will excel with greatest pressure on them. Now,
Wow.
they are the distinguished players, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when these our kids then decide to say they want playing for where they be used to, because as we talk, there's a culture. They grew up
Mm-hmm.
in that culture.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they are used to. Their friends from age 5 years old to age 19, like Mbappe.
Yeah.
How do you expect if some of them go do them?
Mm-hmm.
Before, how you expect such a picking for go to deal with we when you want arrive Cameroon? I not just say happy. They will talk say you get what you get what you
Yes.
so it's difficult. It's difficult, but we have to change mindsets because people they pay attention when it comes to football. As you
Mm-hmm.
talk, it's a science.
Yeah.
Football is a science. So if we build with football right from grassroots, different steps, we're not going to envy anybody. If player comes in, one can play, of course, may it
Mm-hmm.
go.
Mm-hmm.
It's a business, it's entertainment. We pay like fans. Why fans are the cry? It's because fans are the receive some money. No, now we spend with money. So people want to be entertained. So if even if players they come out their own flight of the goal chase money, everything. If the value of our players and goods become if they start buying player for Cameroon 5 million, 10 million. If you say
Mm-hmm.
well, worry why some player don't run come on Cameroon, different people they picking the way that they
They
grow.
will train. That's true.
Exactly, because
That's
that's the
true.
motivation. If they know that they
Yeah.
can feed their family with being paid 2 million, 3 million CFA just playing football, you go see talent will go come up with that country.
Yeah. I want just jump in on which
Mm-hmm.
we truly and talk about getting people where you go play for Cameroon, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't I don't get a lot of conversation with people like that. It be incredibly difficult. Anybody where you do I doff my hat up to here, right? You see, just be out of Cameroon for 5, 10 years. You go out Cameroon, you go back to Cameroon to be a total foreigner. You dey see the basic stuff for your
Mm-hmm.
own cat, say you dey be
Mm-hmm.
like, oh boy, now it is. Even the way the crossroad,
I know
right?
you want try and they say, hey, no cash
Yeah.
face, you know.
I say even the way the crossroad. I get crossroad to my friend for Yaoundé. Then the man run across the road. That is true.
Mm-hmm.
He say, Master, when I wanna come out abroad,
Una
so
fit say.
we know the crossroad they different. Then you talk about the kid way. As well and talk, you grow for here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you grow for here, your access to material they different. Like the first time I really play for some really good field, and some field for around Mansfield area, there's some high school field where that the water even at their football field, will go enter there, they play.
Mm-hmm.
Really good field. So from an age of um 10, 11, you don't
You
get
don't
that
dey play, yeah.
access. Then they begin them. I mean, I don't lie you. The entire way I start playing for it has we I feel the buy boots like where the play will need them. I will tell
Mm-hmm.
you, okay, need I don't buy new boot, I don't
Mm-hmm.
do this, I don't do that. Cameroon, you don't get that.
Mm-hmm.
You get picky way, you don't go through the process, right? You don't go through the process, then in you go Cameroon, because one of the things that with
Mm-hmm.
Cameroonians and now one of the shortcomings in that, but again, any man gets the economics, any man
Mm-hmm.
gets the stuff, so I never blame anyone on that. People that need to take their picking and go Cameroon like two, three
Regularly.
times for
Yeah.
1 year.
Yeah.
If you do 1 year within a 5 year period, one time within a 5 year period. So the Peking na a complete foreigner,
Yeah.
right? Then the Peking turned 20, he hit like he come out college, he
Mm-hmm.
go to MLS, he be good for MLS, he go Europe. It is still see Africa very foreign, right? When your men they come for house,
Mm-hmm.
they make noise, the Peking can join in, he dey for a room.
Mm-hmm.
If you can salute some one or two uncle, then they go in for a room. They be really good. Then Cameroon wake up, that boy na Cameroonian, me can play for Cameroon.
Yeah,
It be impossible.
no, I think I don't really understand, especially with the whole culture thing when I talk.
Yeah.
It's difficult for some picking for growth for year and don't be used to the system for year we we see about 90 to 95% of everything are by merit.
Yeah.
You understand? Like if you prove them, you will actually get the call. You go those who class you as a talk for French, they'll
Yeah.
promote you from one category to the other until, and then you go now for country way as my brother talk. If you don't know some man,
Yeah.
or you know do so, you know choco, you know do something,
You,
it go wow.
you clearly see some person way because the science of football be say metrics a day. You see some person way it run faster, it be better, it be this like it be more willing to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know so it be better. Then you day for the bench the whole time. You just feel disappointed, right? Then the culture they in such a way for night the guys they go and go party, they go and go this. I read something about a time in my say a time I say each time we Cameroon be play, if you go Cameroon, you know because stay because not get family for it. You
Mm-hmm.
know get the Cameroonian culture.
Mm-hmm.
Now you won't be lucky for getting at that point
Mm-hmm.
because it be good enough if you play for Spain.
Mm-hmm.
It be that good, in my opinion. So we be lucky for getting at that time. But you know be ever mix with the rest. It's like this guy, Sasha Boy, that guy for Galatasaray.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Song don't go there 2, 3 times. And the guy talk one of the smartest things. Like I follow a bunch of Cameroonian blogs that he throw
Bash it.
all kind of caution on it. Like don't come and say he don't just say be French, man one play in France. The boy talk say for play for a certain place, you get forget that culture for that place.
Please.
And he no get them. Right? He barely and even this Saliba, he doesn't have Saliba first time never go Cameroon. Even Hugo Ekitike, no, he did
Mm-hmm.
Cameroon now. If you not look on a first or second time, it be incredibly difficult. You just say the tourism go stay for China now.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? You be completely out of place. They like a fish in
And
water.
then the worst part now, the fact is the things they not even be organized. So we suppose if you want can play, players will come on time, hotel, everything they
The,
good.
the, the
Una, yeah.
first time Gael Kakuta then with them at Thomas they go for go play for Congo. Everything will be out of place. They go back. They literally go back. Like they be like they sit out. They actually get a strike where they sit out. They be like, no, nah, so the thing here for be. I mean, guy don't be your life for France. And the problem, see how difficult it be. Guy Kakuta the go Congo. It is different though, because the one way Cameroonians they want and just say, we don't see some new Cameroon
Make
player
them
way
play.
he play for Germany, more go take it. The problem that we not get grassroots, right?
Mm-hmm.
You start the envy different my thing. Now the my own
And sorry said the coach shot that
yeah,
now the other true that won't want even acknowledge him.
yes.
Or look at someone like Mbappe, bro. Now that people build it from the status
From
to Sawi Day.
from scratch. Then they go counter say that Mila and Ito
Uh,
the builder from Cameroon, right? Well, listen, I never talk say
and
when
me and he even look say to be for Cameroon.
even if
Yeah.
it be but hear the point, right?
Mm-hmm.
A donkey, if he run against horses, he go win one time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you use outliers like the example for society,
Mm-hmm.
you understand? The reality we didn't say, Cameroonians them, and nothing way it be particular mostly to Cameroonians them.
Mm-hmm.
I dey follow a couple of other countries then, right? I know say Ghana they be get a use thing where be concerned some of their binationals into.
Mm-hmm.
But the Ghana guys
Mm-hmm.
they become so the Ghana they no be throwing a lot of abuse at them the way Cameroonians they do.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Cameroonians in the way culturally they no be well, and I want measure my words.
Mm-hmm.
They not be well educated on the football stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but they be very quick for past judgment.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, they be very quick for past judgment. They judge the players then with too harsh a brush. And the sad part now, when some of the people that they are Broadway, they get the access to the information.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know one talks to some already come on be ignorant. That don't will
Mm-hmm.
be totally against nature because knowledge be all sand.
Yeah.
But some place they will get more access to this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like True Lines talk. You want to talk about the fact say so one time they will put some wrong some say they say Mourinho talk say any play they burn some player if the player na black man me go play for a
Play for
country. That
country.
was false. He never
Mm-hmm.
said that. But I be there for some group and I see people
So
that
man,
there for a
the
year, they
argue.
promote them. I just say, bro, you're picking the 20 years, you want to go play for Cameroon. So now the problem there, right? The football culture thing, sometimes you just throw up your hands like, Massa, Mojo try when in
Yeah.
Nations Cup. Because the football country, it be so big. You get for first change away for city stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You get for change away where you watch football. You get for change like at the watch Cameroonian clubs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Confederation Cup na zero. Like if we cross one round, the Cotton Sport get one of the worst results for CAF Champions League, and they don't start selling their players them again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Malone,
They're always selling.
that defender,
They're always selling.
like some Nigerian club come with an offer. Cotton deny. The latest thing I say Cotton want to sell it for Simba for Tanzania. I know Tanzania don't get so much money into
Mm-hmm.
their football. They don't start building their teams. Then young Africans play finals or Confederation Cup. So, but me, I dey look the team them. They knock me out, or see and say a Burkina Faso team knock me out. I go be disappointed because I want a more team than win, but
Mm-hmm.
I understand.
True
And,
Lion.
and that's the,
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
No, you want to talk something? Finish first.
Yeah, and that's the Cotton 10, 20 years ago. Cotton was going to finals, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it shows even the best because when I want take a team for Cameroon,
Mm-hmm.
for sure, as an example, I go to Cotton Sport because they have a culture that has sustained them for quite a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now you realize that things don't go really, really bad for where Cotton Sport not even come up for first round, for such a
I
for
want
such
to
a
continue.
competition, which is actually very, very sad. But one thing we'll get to know now, see, even when you watch, because if you be vigilant, social media, this one, it's about cloud
Mm-hmm.
chasing and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Even the way like the other day they put Champions League finals and all that. Everybody can have a different opinion, right? They put
Mm-hmm.
out they say Lukaku was the worst player and all that. But they forget to say the other player they played for 60 minutes, none of them had a shot on target. So
Yeah.
Lukaku will come and play for 25 minutes, he had about 3 shots. So people will say controversy sells.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the person with the right article or when it put out certain news out there,
Mm-hmm.
when you see 3 million, 5 million views, eagles continue to put
They'll
that
put
kind of
that same
article there
article.
because
Very true.
that, yes. So you get a question, even as you talk, say
Mm-hmm.
the way you watch football now. Yeah. Now, so I will read like tactics,
Mm-hmm.
I'm relating to evolution of football, history of football, why Holland people them, why now is Croatians and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So when you continue to educate yourself about such things, you will grow. But now some people then they just want that World Cup every after 4 years for can make for can make noise because maybe they don't get that culture or that
Mm-hmm.
foundation need for actually make them understand football in a better way.
So,
You want to talk something?
may I ask you something? So you talk on Cotton, and I one thing that way you don't. I one thing that I don't really be intrigued about Cotton,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like initially, like Cotton at this point, from which way they start with, they begin to be one of the greatest them for Africa now.
Mm-hmm.
They begin for day up there, like
Canon used
uh,
to be up there too, right?
Canon used
Mm-hmm.
to be up there back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Union,
Mm-hmm.
Tonnerre. We go back to Orix when
Mm-hmm.
Cameroon clubs were doing good.
I could tell you why.
You when may I
May
ask,
finish.
may I ask you a
Mhm,
question, right? And I want to get
mhm.
your input on something.
Yeah.
Before one come in, I think that we actually say we get a
Mm-hmm.
conversation about who is to blame. Now, Coton, they begin forget some way by now they transition into a bigger club,
Mm-hmm.
right? They probably don't sell all their players. I remember one time I keep follow Amadou Ngomna, right? Captain
Mm-hmm.
for Coton.
Mm-hmm.
I follow the guy, I'd be like, well, I didn't say he age will be an issue too.
Mm-hmm.
Officially, we be young, but physically, if
Mm-hmm.
you look, it's an old man. But that one, I no one get into it because
Mm-hmm.
he age na age. Then after a while, he go play for Pakistan,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Where it means say the dirigeant level Coton, it's where they start do, they start say player then I go.
Mm-hmm.
They go 2008 Confederation Cup finals, right? Against Al Ali.
Mm-hmm.
They play the finals. From that finals, Cotonou the good and the sell players. Now, for your own opinion, I want to get your take on this. You believe, say, because it starts from the authorities, right?
Mm-hmm.
The way Fekafood be set up.
Mm-hmm.
But Fekafood get some person way it respond to. like.
I feel like me just answer me tell me what you think. What do
So
you think could be the
what
problem?
you think say be the problem with Coton go down
Yeah.
until
Cotton
now?
and
Where
most if
I
generally
think,
soccer self maybe even maybe
uh,
yeah,
one,
I
one
think,
quick one quick thing. I be keep watch Coton be able play my Melody Sundowns,
mhm,
right? I be there. I be there out the run errands. I be like, me I rush back because at this stuff you watch everything
mhm,
IPTV, right? If you literally watch everything, I be like, me I run back. I can't find a channel where a channel where they show the game.
mhm.
28 minute game 3-0. I'll be like,
yeah, I think that game about 4 months ago, my
yeah,
nephews were visiting my brother in South Africa, and they actually heard Cotton was coming, and they went to the field, and they got embarrassed.
4-0.
However, the funness say Cotton no fit sustain itself that much around teams and way they no be as competitive. Look at PSG too for France, right? PSG no fit win
Yes.
Champions League because when they come inside league, when they play, they don't get as competitive. They just run over everybody. So they never
Wow.
get any person where if he actually challenge them. That's the same thing with Cotton. They need to get people where feel actually challenge them, right? Then those their players will not get better because football, the harder or the more the better teams you play or the better players you compete against,
Yeah.
your level they actually increase. Then
Very
those players
true.
also in Cameroon because I think that Salih Edgar and Abubakar be the last players and when they actually come out like Coton
Yeah.
go play for a good league and we
Hmm.
most of them they actually start. Salih Edgar I think they go for a Division 2 back then
Yeah.
Abubakar they go for
Monaco,
Charleroi.
Monaco, Monaco be the Division 2 where you go for
Mhm.
Monaco.
Yeah, exactly. The Abubakar will go Charleroi and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So with time, with things that don't get worse and worse, then also today, me and my friend get to talk about Union Sportive de Douala, where three of their players they transfer them away. Their club president, their club just don't even know, you know. So I mean, so all that kind of thing, they make players that just any opportunity where they get them, where they don't even play the half season or 10
Yeah.
game, they come on highest goal scorer. All man, they want to go because they want to go find some place where. And one thing we need to tell our people, we need to see alumni because I get a friend who works, he's so much into football. They
Mhm.
have a company, they have good platforms about data. Football slavery is true.
Yeah, that's true.
Most of these players you hear, then you don't hear
That's
about
true.
them again. They are out where somewhere, even playing for nothing, not
Yeah.
even get paid, getting abused. So there's a lot of football slavery happening in African football. We don't talk about it. It goes unseen, and we feel that always going to Europe to play football is the best bet. How would you actually explain that?
Culturally, if you imagine the amount of work will be to be done, it'd be enormous.
Yeah.
You get so much work to do. Like at the time you start, you just try hand up in the air. You just be like,
And that's the reason why I feel conversations like this, what we are doing, even if change everything, maybe we will lay some small foundation with some other people if you can run with them
yeah,
or something. We are at 1 hour, almost 30 minutes, and I feel like we should round up. I feel like we should we should talk about what we can do or as a community to get things to a better place when next we get this segment. But I want to ask you one last question. We I think say truly I'm going go for answer and two. If you get so your brother, you get $100 million, you say want invest am for football for Cameroon. You accept me do am?
absolutely not, absolutely not, because you see, I don't get this conversation with two people, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't get this conversation with somebody for Europe who be extremely knowledgeable about football.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get this conversation because when I finish with the person for Europe, I
Mm-hmm.
talk with some other guy for Cameroon accountant.
Mm-hmm.
Now, investment for football, right?
Yeah.
You get them back.
Mm-hmm.
The society be set up in such a way where the state,
Mm-hmm.
the community, they guarantee your investment. It's something we say they can say accompagnateur, that they follow you with your
Mm-hmm.
investments. Where you need to be in a total loss.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? That guy for Cameroon actually tell you, say if you form a company for Cameroon, right? You form a company for Cameroon, you invest the money there. You go do your taxes, you declare losses, you declare the same thing they for America. And I say actually they for
You did for
Cameroon.
Cameroon,
Cameroon actually get laws where if you invest for stuff,
yeah.
you could get them back. But now you get something you can say political will. For America, say where you do your taxes now. Say within 2 weeks, if you not be doing mago, your money don't come.
Mm-hmm.
For Cameroon, where you from that company, you get Union Sportive de Douala LLC. You
Mm-hmm.
take 100 million, you take 35 players, you say na employed and this.
Mm-hmm.
You pay them social security, you pay them this, you pay them that. The gate earnings are not be much, we know.
Mm-hmm.
Advertisement never see reach that level.
Mm-hmm.
Wait if like for the put of money, you go pass wait you the put on. Or we get other president like that man for Asco Karab or Togo.
Mm-hmm.
You get a president for Hafia Conakry, you get Moise Katumbi then. They put money away. When I hear that thing, it will say the game. It be good, don't get me wrong, but it pale in comparison to that guy they put on money.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't get 100 million. You don't put all that money, you don't put player inside hotel and stuff. You don't get them back for fee, you don't get them back for investment. Government fee decide for possibly write them off. So okay, maybe by some tax, this thing government will write them off. But you probably don't mean as an opposing, you don't talk one or two things about government. So you write them off. You go reach there, you be like, okay, I need my returns. I don't spend
Said drag you.
$10 million. They take forever. The person who he get for sign some paperwork, me get the money, me reinvest, and for the club, me do stuff. That person actually tells you for lance. Then you get for sell player then too. You want be the academy, one sell player then. Now things are obviously they go change way too. But sometimes in the for doing for fake foot, you go for still do mago, some player every day just throw and talk.
Mm-hmm.
You get club they sell player where they not take club. Now who signing the international, now who signing the license, now who signing the certificate for command. So the problem where it didn't say you want to take your risk, you take a risk.
Mm-hmm.
But we talk about a clean investment.
Mm-hmm.
Like stop any man if you get money for go invest. But now I go tell you, say, listen. It can be extremely high risk and little reward. You understand? The government, it can for being a paradigm shift. It can be some mentality way. Like for France, like 2000, 2018. No, not 2018, 2014. I watched a documentary on the French preparation for World Cup, right?
Mm-hmm.
They talk say French football now is $7 to $8 billion industry, and government it makes it along the way. Any man with a partner for that industry, because that $7 to $8 billion no be government again.
Mm-hmm.
You get foreigners like Qatar is Qatar government. You get Marseille, their proprietor. You get Jean-Marie Olasebide for Lyon. Anybody give that money, government it makes me continue for the put that money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For Cameroon, we never reach that level where the government is doing. Now, if you choose to put your money, you get the experiences. There were people that like Claude Zunja, they were be start for Jamaya on the with Fayez them, with Chem for them, Upa Young them.
Chulayon.
Yeah.
What is your take on that? You guess
Yeah,
you poured out millions. You say one put and you do how?
No, I mean, say, in that person way they is football, because don't get me wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you follow football, it all gets on a business partner and the happy family. We a football agent them and all that. We they know how to make money with footballers in Cameroon. You know what I'm saying? The truth now say maybe all man they see that money. Now a certain amount of people that they see that money, and you never be inside some click for see that money. So if my man now person where they inside that click for say okay, yes, of course, because people they do they make money from football. Now say it will be spread out. You have to be in a certain click, because take for example how we transition from Cox Sportif to One All Sport. Why Ethiopia push that agenda? Me, my principle now say, person will work hard, of course, because if you live for some place, you spend your time working to build something where you don't get benefits. But if you put that energy, say me that it benefit a large amount of people, then that's fine. Because, for example, as I don't talk about Cox Sportif, we'll do some deal where we will take you from Cox Sportif to One All Sport. Then month after, we can see say that the hammer will fine when I go to play billions. You understand? Because we got to learn as a people. Because I be one person where I don't support. When Eto give play football, I be supporting very, very. Eto get good intentions, things
Mm-hmm.
like that, But he never ever manage anything with him. So
Mm-hmm.
as to support it, we get for also wholly accountable for on certain things. But when
Mm-hmm.
you try for the society, they start calling names. They start calling names because people need the support. People need the support. You know, people need the support. People need the support. Have it up. People need the support ideas and instead support now people.
Persons.
Yeah. So as when they align with person saying nama starter, whether I do right or wrong, that's it. And
I've,
make people
I've,
that
al- I've, I've always said if we take some of the questions,
Yeah,
they're
ma
very
more check.
quick, like rapid fire,
I think the very first question should
just
be
rapid fire.
okay. Show send link. Agents. Why don't we select more players from inside Cameroon instead of those who have already made it? Those players seem to have more fight in them. So Jabia Khaledi asks, why don't you choose more of local players for go play competitions rather than take players from outside where maybe they know. Maybe if you go ahead and answer that one.
Quality below.
Mm-hmm.
The quality of players we have in Cameroon is low. That's just a fact.
Mm-hmm.
The reality, I say, boil down to wait we don't talk about the whole time over here. We
Mm-hmm.
not get grassroots. We not get players the way the grassroots don't build them up to any trophy use them.
Mm-hmm.
Now you also get the economics of it, right? What players they play for Cameroon?
Mm-hmm.
The best players them every small country for Africa now they don't get out.
Mm-hmm.
So the simple question I say, if we get that quality, we'll build up, we'll give it that grassroots, we'll get some players that be grounded enough in that grassroots football with the build.
Mm-hmm.
We'll count on them.
Mm-hmm.
We'll not get the grassroots, we'll not get the economics to keep our best players, we'll not get players there for Cameroon. It be proven. The Chan will go play for we'll go play Chan for Algeria, now we'll move for Niger.
Mm-hmm.
Local players for Niger, local players for Cameroon, they beat us. You
Wow.
understand?
Wow.
So we'll call it to be low. We'll get a lot of work to do, build up the players and pay them a little bit. Makes it so even the person we decide for stay, me he knows small football. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Every single player where you play 3 matches, you score 2 goals, you're out of there. You want to follow the player, say, oh boy, the man scored 2 goals last game. You want to say that man did Burundi.
True Lion. Now my own question do I ask if I be the watch now watch I will comment this. Why do we have I'll call some few names Mokake or Superman in Cameroon. That funny feels and funny traveling condition, all that he was really good. But then he go France will be expect to go explode. He disappears. Salih had got them. Even Abubakar really struggled before they get to the play where he did now. Why EBC would used to get some players the way they really do well for Cameroon. But once they cross Cameroon, go even for the next neighboring country and all of that, they just disappear.
say football get very, very funny dynamics. You don't play football, you understand. The
Mm-hmm.
mindset, must be strong. Psychological, you must be strong. Now, when you see person commode a natural habitat, right?
Yeah.
Just go for Europe. You got to take in consideration the conditions, the way they are around. If the environment be conducive for me, if he's tough mentally. So there's a lot of things that will actually affect a footballer, or if you go for some system, like
Mm-hmm.
when they buy players, right, for Africa, they need to take into consideration, say this man, now this type of player, or you go for some team, the coach go say, okay, this is how we have to play. You
Mm-hmm.
know, if you not be technically good or tactically good, all those things will affect you. Then some
Mm-hmm.
people, then when you just break their pride, I mean that's it. Then
That's
also you get to take in consideration, say for Europe, or I usually tell people that for England, you go see for some teams, so 2 players and they right? You
mm-hmm.
didn't know that one be better past the other one just because the other one na English boy.
Mm-hmm.
That's the agenda they will push.
Yeah.
You know, the more you play, the better you become. So if some person they come off a bench, right? Okay, me I play 10 games because I'm the English boy. Then they just bring you on 1 or 2 games. because you know the English boy. Then when you can't mess, coach will say, okay, you see, he can't
Mm-hmm.
play. But not just because you know be that kind of player away, you need more games to become better. So I mean, there are so many factors that can affect a player moving from Africa into Europe.
Then other question, has Cameroonian football grown from its infrastructure to its talents and status within Africa, or is it gone backwards? I don't know. You understand the question?
So, um, the obvious answer, and I say don't go backwards.
Mm-hmm.
The obvious answer, and I say don't go backwards. And again, it boils down to that place where Cameroon be get a head start
Mm-hmm.
on a lot of other African countries and back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
But poor management, greediness, lots of confusion, and the mentality. Because again, you play the drums now, so people go dance.
Done.
When people they don't be used to do a certain dance, you want to start change the drums, people they look at you funny. They look at you say be a poor drummer. They don't know say the dance don't change.
Mm-hmm.
So from the positions we be there, right?
Mm-hmm.
82 will go World Cup, we'll go World Cup, we'll come back unbeaten, right?
Mm-hmm.
We did the same pool with um
Peru,
Italy and Peru and Poland. And back in the day, Poland did they good. They get Boniek, other player then. 84 we'll go win Nations Cup. Then we go. I mean, before then we go Junior World Cup for 1981 for Australia.
Mm-hmm.
82 because just see the history. That's 42 years ago. We don't already go Junior World Cup
Welcome.
for Australia. 82 we don't go World Cup. 83, I mean 84 we win the Nations Cup. 85 we win Afro Asian Games. 86 we go finals. 88 we win the, so just imagine that baggage will be getting. Actually, Frenchman say du loup.
Mm-hmm.
Now big stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We be careful build on that baggage. We can build stadium them. We be football school them. We be all that in
Put
them.
in place a good
We'll
structure.
be careful don't get a 30 to 40 years head start on other African countries.
yep,
We'll be careful don't get them. We'll be get all that in them. Then 90s, if we get in a consecration, we will finish the 90, we'll be just able to choose, okay, the World Cup, the Nations Cup, we go take the one, we'll leave on the one, we'll take that one. We'll be careful don't get that baggage. You understand? But would he still struggle, right? Would he still be beaten by Namibia? Would he still I mean Burundi will play Burundi, we kick 3 shots and go out of 12. Now Burundi would he talk about. So it sounds like we don't miss that baggage we don't get, or don't waste time completely. Now the early struggle. They don't create some culture way. We don't create some culture where it'd be difficult for see how we can move ahead for do the things that we're supposed to do 40 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We get a lot of money where supposedly they come in for MTM and one all sports, right? And that's the
Mm-hmm.
end that will get for user. I read one president of some one club, he talk say the contract be secret, not the public contract. You understand? So we don't regress so much. Wait, now so have you count, have you count 10, 15 countries for Africa way. Even a country like Mauritania, they are ahead of we for football development.
yep,
Now just say we'll get, because you understand, say, if you decide for big fields, you decide for build academies, you decide for train your referees them, train your coaches, and FIFA get money where they'll give you for those things.
True Lion. Um, if things were to get better, which you think will get for do at this point in time? More run up.
if things were to get better.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, right? Sometimes we just have to speak the truth to ourselves, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
in order for grow for life, you have to be real to your own self. I just want to give a shout out before we actually get out because thing we want to do for Texas. I talk about Dallas, Houston,
Mm-hmm.
and Antonio. We now organize some tournament and all that. I stayed for Dallas for 25 good years, right? We don't do the
Mm-hmm.
Dallas, bro. We
Yeah,
see how people, like I want to talk about our local veteran. We see how people that they all come up Cameroon, they integrate in the society and all that. And those are things that people don't point out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a lot of kids that come, they enter Dallas through football. They meet one or two people, they network well. and in 2 3 years they are fit, they
Mhm.
graduate, they make good money and all that. That's how you grow. That's how you empower your community through football,
Mhm.
and things like that. Of course, you can only without failure. Sometimes you hear stories and all that, but without failure, there's no opportunity to learn.
That's
The
true.
problem now for Cameroon, I say they need allow me people then fail. They only give things and to same people because they get agenda. As I tell
Mhm.
now only a few
Mhm.
actually. So I know if you stand for years, say if things will get better, it will be like say I just talk about fantasy football, and I
Mhm.
don't want to talk fantasy football, right? We just like to talk the way we will see them. Now, so for PE, the way we are seeing, if you don't get good roads, you don't get hospital because football now don't get in some complexity way in order to get results. You must have a good network because players that want to travel go play this game, travel go play.
Mhm.
You have to travel and get to your destination fresh so
Mhm.
that you can give your best. You know. So the only thing they will get to do now say if you see the way we Cameroon dey now, we get bad networks of road. So we just get to start at a low level, then it helps
Mhm.
the level get better. As American stuff, you start from the grassroots, call the food, then you let them make these kids, then the practice, they play at a very high level because we can only get better amongst ourselves. We are competing amongst the best. You see, so that's the way I think we can change football back home.
What are your thoughts on the Ndeli kid playing for FC Dallas? Will you be the watching
Yeah.
that game?
No. I don't read up on that little kid. He come on from
Mhm.
Minnesota.
Mhm.
Come on, Minnesota. It start for. He actually started. It walk away through FC Dallas.
Mhm.
I don't know whether he be Cameroonian. He get a unique name. Now only one family. Now only one family. Now only one family for Cameroon get Ndeli. So
Mhm.
everybody knows I come out now.
Mhm.
From the palace, right? So uh, I wish you the best. I say a young kid, right?
Mhm.
Is to get a lot to learn. It day for any of the like they play under 20. Actually they on day for the under 20. Way means say is to get a lot of work. Now, obviously, a very good player. We can play for FC Dallas. Be like
Mhm.
poor player, but not be Cameroonian. If by some chance it turn out to be a Cameroonian, I go wish say okay, me do the right things, go to Europe and stuff. But I believe that at a certain point, more talk about Cameroonians, right?
Yeah,
Like more talk about more build, more do on stuff. Right, like tomorrow, if he decide we can't play for you, hey, are they all for it? Even now, by just the fact of his name and his where he's from, right? I feel some kind of kinship with him. But I don't want to put no pressure upon him because
I think say na the one of the best thing we I don't learn from this conversation.
yes,
Me, I don't know for some reason I never do ever see and that way say would he actually struggle for go harvest two ways to different man plant them,
yeah,
which is very very wrong. If we say they be true to are nothing so we like them.
yeah,
Oh, we are hitting 2 hours. Move on over the conversation.
yeah. So again, I really glad as Trula and jumping. I've always say the other guys we figure the bigger forum way before one get in we get specifics
Mm-hmm.
like what if
yep,
we do and I hope say my hope as you
Mm-hmm.
actually praise and have say if we fit talk something with one person just one person where
Mm-hmm.
if we do some change because the
Mm-hmm.
level where the football day but the other thing to say make people they try study this game right
Mm-hmm.
as science it be clear cut
Mm-hmm.
the way you need them for progress for a game day
Mm-hmm.
and they get the tools
Mm-hmm.
so we'll get the conversation, we'll talk about this. But maybe people they study the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you study the game, maybe you discover, say, you will still be passionate, but you will be less judgmental in a lot of things because you will understand the truth.
Okay.
So now some conversation, we will just start them. We'll get a lot of African stuff coming up. We'll get Nations Cup in 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Then if we build this platform where we'll be the authority on African football.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we build this platform, will be like the absolute authority on African football because that platform not there.
Yeah.
And so we just wish some people they keep on studying, maybe people they keep on joining. And the next time we'll get for talk about this, get a pop in, right? Do your homework, read about the Get.
Yeah,
I've really wish someone get to talk about Croatia and see how if it but that's a conversation for another day. Croatia need to go away.
definitely. Nathan
When I
say
hear
I
me,
watch. Yeah, I would hear
Yeah,
you very well. Nathan say I watch him play against. So we did talk about the Ndeli kid.
yeah,
Watch him play against San Jose, and that the kid is good. For a second team player. Boss, more round up. What are your last words for today? True Lion.
yeah,
Your last words for
come
today.
again. Oh yeah, I mean, I like what you guys are doing. I like the conversation, and as my brother talk, if we come up with something where we come with subjects what we want to talk to, we make it a little bit
Mm-hmm.
organized. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
30 minutes, 45 minutes, because what will attract a lot of viewers, right, is when you
Mm-hmm.
have programs like this, a lot of information, but also
Mm-hmm.
short.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
people get a short attention time span where
Mm-hmm.
they don't go above a certain amount of time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're trying to build up a platform like that, just make it like short. It can be 30 minutes. We come up, hit the points, practice before that, and it will be great. But I like what you guys are doing. Good job.
Man, thank you very much, bro. This
yeah,
was beautiful. My takeaway, not just that one point. The
yeah,
fact say we are always trying to harvest from where we did not plant. We should learn to plant. We should learn to invest in our own.
yeah,
So by the time we would get any result, we also get result. By the way, we don't always get a result we deserve them.
yeah,
So more no even ugly. See, one time maybe no,
yeah,
that's very true.
yeah,
Maybe one time so lucky you don't, but most of the times we don't get a result deserve them. If Namibia beat we, they beat we because they, yeah.
yeah.
Thank you guys very much, man. I hope to have us here in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks, and before that, I hope say we three would meet up one time. We'll discuss, we'll make plan, and then do it to we. It will be the best, bro. Thank you very much.